Let's talk about something that is one of the most frustrating things that I think you'll ever notice. Okay, you go through life and people who seem to care a lot less than you somehow move faster. Okay, they speak up, they take risks, they get promoted, they live their dream, they get noticed. And meanwhile, you seem to be stuck on repeat, replaying the same conversations or wondering if your message has landed, editing yourself in real time, getting over anxious about some future events that might go wrong. Okay, you might walk into meetings constantly rehearsing your point. Okay, perhaps even when you're socializing with new people, you're there, but you don't actually quite arrive in the room. Okay, you ever feel like that? You're present physically, but mentally you just constantly feel like you're on trial. And when you start to think, if this is a repeated pattern, what is wrong with me? Well, nothing is the answer, okay? But if you don't work on this, if you don't try and get this right, it will hold you back, okay? And there are themes and patterns that I've seen people who are self-aware enough to want to do something about this. And I'm going to break those themes down. There's three main ones, okay? The first one is stop trying not to care. Okay, stop caring what people think is really bad advice. Unless you're a psychopath, it's just unrealistic. Okay, but it gets dished out all the time in a lazy way. Caring is not the problem. Okay, caring is intelligence, it's social awareness. If you didn't care at all, you'd actually be unbearable. Okay, you'd be what us Mancunians call a total knobhead. Okay, humans evolved to care because being rejected in a group used to mean death. Okay, we're tribal beings by our nature. So if caring matters to you, congratulations, it just means that you are human. So the issue isn't caring, it's over attachment that then creeps into emotional dependence. Okay, I did a complete video on this, which you can find on my channel. And the trap is that we can often fall into this when people's reactions start driving things like your mood or your confidence or your behavior or your decision making. That is when things go sideways. So that is the first theme. The second theme I notice is that people value the wrong opinions. Okay, so most people who struggle here are not insecure at all. They're just over democratic with people around them. They let everybody have a vote. Okay, colleagues who have never taken any risks, or people who have no experience in the area that they want to improve in, or family members. This is a really common one. Family members who come from a place of care, who point out all the what ifs or all the negatives, or strangers online even, people projecting their own fears and failures. Okay, two filters that really help when you get faced with this. Okay, if you wouldn't trade places with this person, why are you trading emotional energy with them? That's the first thing that helps. Ask yourself that question. The second thing is a principle. Never listen to criticism from someone that you wouldn't actively seek advice from. I don't mean any of that in an arrogant way at all, but it's a feature of high performers, okay, in that they don't ignore feedback. They just choose the source of it. When you stop letting unqualified opinions shape your inner world, the noise starts to drop instantly. Okay, the third theme is ego related, and people assuming that everything is always about them. It isn't. Okay, remind yourself as many times as needed, you are not the center of attention. Repeat after me, you are not the center of attention. This one is humbling, but it's also freeing because we think that people are watching us all of the time. They're not. They're actually thinking about what they said or what they are doing next or the last mistake that they made. Psychology calls this the spotlight effect, and it's a tendency to massively overestimate how much attention other people are paying to us. You are not under a spotlight. You're in a room full of people managing their own internal monologue. Okay, once this lands, something loosens. Okay, we start to relax. You stop managing the perception of others and you can focus on trying to make an impact yourself. Okay, so quick summary. Caring too much about what other people think isn't a confidence issue, it's a control issue. When safety comes from the outside, from approval, from reassurance and reactions of others, you give away authority of yourself without even noticing it. So detachment is simply taking all that back. Okay, it's not becoming cold. It's not by not caring. Okay, it's by choosing who and what actually gets access to you. You still listen, you still care, you just stop letting opinions and external events run your inner world. Okay, if this hit and you recognize this pattern in yourself, I write a private letter that goes deeper into this exact territory and more, and it's made for high functioning professionals like you. I'll link it in the comments. Okay, if you receive it, read it slowly, respond back if you want a chat. I get back to all of them personally. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.